Hey guys, let us get straight into this. Get ready with me tea. So today I'm going to be talking about one of my big insecurities. I think out of the 5 main insecurities I might have, this would come in like the top 3. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my eczema. So for those who don't know, and you might not if you're a new subscriber to my channel, but since I was born I've had a skin condition called eczema. And basically what that is just that I have naturally dry skin and it requires me to moisturize it constantly. And yeah, this leaves my skin to be itchy, irritable and dry and flaky. And yeah, so I would like to come on this series and really dive into how it's affected me growing up, what it does to me now, how it affects my life even at 19 years of age as of 2 weeks ago. But yeah, I want to come and talk about this particular issue because it's not something that's just affected me. I know so many people who go through it, and I'd just like to talk to you guys about how it makes me feel and kind of the ways I've dealt with it and still dealing with it, because this is a journey. You don't just wake up and you learn to accept and embrace things. I wanted to just come onto this channel because I know I'm not the only one who's going through these same sorts of problems, and you might be able to apply it to maybe a different type of skin condition or whatever it is that you're going through. And I want you guys to be able to watch this video, be able to relate, because that's the one thing I want my channel to do, and just find comfort in knowing that you're not the only one that's going through it, and you might even find a way to deal with it just like I'm learning to deal with it. So this is learning for me and learning for you. So yeah, I'll be very honest with you guys because I want this channel to be very transparent and very honest. It's still quite hard for me to be on camera with a complete 100% bare face. So I tried, but I kind of let myself have this one by concealing my eyelids and doing my eyebrows before starting this video. And that kind of leads me into my first point about what it is eczema does to me and how it makes me feel about myself. So the main areas where you will find my eczema are my arms. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera because of the light. My neck, my face and my legs, especially the back of my legs. So it's kind of in areas where the body bends because it will collect sweat, it'll get hot. It's usually covered in clothing, like my neck, the back of my legs and all that. So yeah, I have eczema. It tends to be worse for me during the change of season. So especially from winter to summer, that's when my skin just flares up. Yeah, it's not cute. As you can see, as I'm making a mess now, I go quite heavy with the concealing of my eyelids. I like to make them quite a light color, and then I'll add whatever color it is from my eyeshadow palette on top of that. And growing up, I've always had dark circles around my eyes, and it's something that I know, and I know people know too. I mean, like, people have made comments on it before. One particular incident that I know I will never forget, I was on the bus on my way to school, and there was a girl who shared my friend. So I was going to school with my friends, and there was a girl who was friends with my friend, so mutual friend. And she made a comment saying that I had panda eyes. It's comments like that that you don't forget, and they really do make you feel even more insecure. It's like I was already having a war with myself about this situation, but you've just put a whole name to it. So like every time I look at my friends, oh my goodness me, are my panda eyes showing? I mean, you gave me that name, and it's like, my goodness, it was not a nice incident. And like with this particular person, when we'd be on the bus, she'd bring up my eczema. She'd be like, oh, so how's your eczema doing? Like, oh, how's your face? Like, and it's like, nobody is talking about it, but you've brought it up. Like, read the room, sis. And there was another incident when there was a guy on the bus, and it's not like I particularly had a crush on him or anything, but like I was just getting to know this boy, and like I was at that age where, you know, you want to get to know the boys, you want to give a good impression. But she again brought up my eczema and how my skin was different shades and stuff. And I know the guy was now looking at me and looking at these shades, and it's just like, oh my goodness, like you've really reminded me that I have this insecurity. So like my face has been one, my arms and the back of my legs has been another, because when my skin gets itchy, I scratch it. And by the way, I hate it when people are like, don't itch it. Well, like, of course I'm gonna itch it. It's like I was about to say, it's like trying to reach an itch you can't scratch, but that's what it is. I hate it when people are like, oh, don't scratch it, you'll make it worse. Listen, the only sense of relief here is if I scratch it. But yeah, so it leaves a lot of blemishes on my skin when I scratch my skin, and sometimes I do it in my sleep. So when I wake up in the morning, that's when I see the damage. So recently for my birthday, I did a lovely photo shoot with my friend, and I was showing my aunt the pictures, and she said to me, I love the way you're just confident in your skin. You're not really concerned about your skin and your eczema, you're just doing your thing. And that really did inspire me to do this video, because during that photo shoot, I love doing photo shoots, I was just doing my thing. I wasn't even thinking about my eczema. And it's funny how when she said it, she brought up my eczema, and then she got me thinking about it, and then obviously unintentionally got me thinking, oh my goodness me, are my scars showing? Like, should I like edit this? But as you guys saw on my birthday, I left them as it is, didn't edit any of them, because you know what, why should I mean, in my opinion, I wouldn't call eczema having a skin disease. That just sounds a bit serious, don't you think? It's more of an inconvenience. I call it an inconvenience. It's not a life or death situation. When it does affect me, it affects me badly, but when it's not affecting me, it's fine. It's just, I've got normal skin. Having eczema really just makes everything extra. Like, one of the things that I've recently started complaining about is my prescription cream. You see, now that I'm a working woman and I work full time, my prescription creams are no longer funded by the NHS. I've got to fund them myself. Whoa, that's a bit dramatic. So that's one inconvenience, but obviously it's part of being a grown-up, innit? The thing is, my skin is very sensitive. As much as I would love to go to Savers or Wilkinson's, because I love Wilkinson's like soap and their smelly stuff, I think it's great, and like the Body Shop, I can't do that because I've got very sensitive skin. Like, anything can set my skin off. So yeah, it's just not being able to join in things, face masks and certain products. I can't really do that, and it's gotten a bit better now because I'm older. It's just a case of me doing the research to find out which ingredients will work with my skin. But let me tell you, skincare is not cheap, and as someone who hates spending money, my money, it's not really the solution I'm looking for. The normal things that most people won't even think twice about, a big one, swimming. I can't do without suffering the consequences after. I mean, you might see me having fun, having the time of my life, but just know inside I'm thinking, when I wake up in the morning, I'm gonna feel it. So my skin is very sensitive to the pH and the salt levels of water. I'm someone who loves water activities. I love skiing, I love cliff jumping, you name it, I'm doing it. But I will do it, but the next morning when I wake up, my skin will literally feel like a dragon's back. It's horrible. And the worst part is, I'm usually suffering in silence during summer. I mean, like, one example would be like sports day. Everyone's wearing shorts, everyone's wearing short sleeves, everyone's doing skin out. But because we're sitting on the grass, I have to wear long sleeves, I have to wear long trousers to cover up my skin, because I will react to the texture of the grass. My skin will be very itchy, or when we go to the beach, the texture of the sand, just anything that can rub against my skin and cause any type of friction, my skin will react and become bumpy and rough and just very uncomfortable for me, and very itchy and dry and flaky. So everything is just long. I mean, I remember one time we went to a water park in Italy, and I had to carry a bottle of water in between the rides because I would get dry in the queue. So I had to keep myself wet, because obviously eczema is the condition of having dry skin. So I couldn't cream myself because the cream would just wash off in the water. So I had to keep wetting myself in between, and like, I'll be halfway through the queue to the ride and my water will be this much. I'll just be rushing in. I'll have to squeeze it out my hair into my skin, squeeze it out my swimming costume. Like, I'm laughing, but like, other people don't have to think twice about stuff like that. Me, I'm suffering. With having eczema, it's easy to forget you have it when you're out and about or doing whatever. But the problem and the insecurity comes when other people bring it up. Like, when other people comment about it, that's when you start to think, oh my goodness me, like, is it worse than I think? You go through phases when you think, oh, it's not as bad as I think it is. Someone brings something up and you're thinking, oh my goodness me, is it that noticeable? And I'm constantly asking people around me, oh, can you see, does it look bad? I'm just gonna put my foundation on my face. Let's talk about that. Let us talk about that. I told you guys I have eczema on my neck, so naturally at the moment it's okay because we're in the winter season. I've been inside, I've been using my creams. Usually in the summer my neck tans twice as fast as my face, so they never match. You know those horrible boys that love to say anything and everything about girls? You girls do this, you girls do that. Well, when they start talking about how girls' faces never match their foundation, I take it personally and I feel it because more time I know that my face doesn't match my foundation, and that's because it can't and it won't. My face doesn't match my neck. It never will, because they're two completely different colors during the summertime. Because if I match it with my neck, it's too dark. It's too dark. If I match it with my face, it's far too light. I try and get an in-between, but it's like it doesn't feel right to me anyway. So it's very hard working with what I've got. The makeup industry is something very hard. I'm always mixing foundations. I've never had one foundation apart from this one, which works all right. It's doing what I need it to do, but makeup and covering blemishes, it is just not fun. Like, I struggle with makeup anyway. I'm aware that some colors aren't exactly right for me. I'm still learning to do my makeup. I still practice and I'm still trying new things and trying to find out what 100% works for me from the moment I do my eyebrows to when I'm applying my lip gloss. But it's just a bit of a bump in the road when you're dealing with something that is just so hard, because I could go to get my foundation matched today, I'll go back in a month's time, it's a different story. So it's just constantly dealing with change. My face is always changing, and what's hard for me in summer, my skin breaks a lot and it flakes. Oh, you guys, can you imagine, like, you've done your makeup so flawlessly, it's sitting so right on your face, halfway through the day your face is actually shedding. Oh yeah, my face sheds. I shed like a snake. My skin peels very easily after I've been burnt in the sun or I spent too much time in the sun. My face is constantly changing, so I'm constantly having to keep up and try and stay on top of things and just make sure that my makeup routine is nice. But yeah, halfway through the day my face will be flaking underneath the makeup, and it's like when I get home and I dust off my face, it's like, ugh, it's like dead skin cells coming off, and it takes away that flawless finish to my face. Don't even get me started on different types of foundations and primers. So naturally my face is dry, right? But because of my eczema, I'm always oiling my face. So what do I have? Do I have dry skin or do I have oily skin? For example, my nose is always oiling, but like my cheeks and my foreheads will dry up. So my solution to that problem is to get a oily foundation so that it will keep my face hydrated and give me that dewy look. Mattifying is my worst enemy because I will look like a dead woman. But then I don't put foundation on my nose because it's naturally oily and producing oil. So I will try and match my foundation to my nose. So that's my personal solution. And my encouragement for you girls out there doing makeup, try and find that little ghetto alternative routine that works for you. And as they say with makeup, it is what works for you. Oh, back in the day, I used to watch like makeup tutorials religiously, and I'd follow it and I'd wonder why it's not working on my skin, and that's because I didn't tailor it for me. When it comes to having marks and blemishes, I have made the personal choice not to let it consume me and worry me and always spending my energy looking for ways to conceal it, to hide it, to cover it up. Because more time when you're covering, more people want to know what is it that you're hiding. You're always wearing long sleeves in the hot weather. Like, what are you hiding? I mean, sometimes I'll be protecting myself, but other times I'll just be like trying to cover up and hide it. Or if I'm wearing an excessive amount of makeup when it's like 100 degrees outside, it's like, what are you trying to hide? Like, what are you insecure about? Now it's got people being curious and you don't want to draw attention to it. And I've accepted that, do you know what, my eczema and my blemishes and my uneven skin, very likely that it's the first thing people will notice about me. But I promise you, I won't let it be the thing that people remember about me. If we're meeting the first time, you might see me and be like, oh, what's that mark on her face? Like, why does her face look like that? But I promise you, after meeting me, you'll be thinking about something else. You'll be thinking, oh my goodness me, like, she's so funny. I'm not that funny, but she's so funny. Oh my gosh, she dances so well. Oh, her confidence. That's what you'll be remembering about me. You won't even be thinking about my eczema. You won't even remember to ask me about it the next time. Because there was a time when I was allowing people to ask me questions and allowing people to get answers from me about my eczema, about something that was personal, something that I didn't want to concentrate on. Like, it's not a secret. If people ask me like, oh, like, so like, what's the deal with your skin? I'm happy to tell them because it's not a secret, but it's not what we're going to focus on. We're going to talk about other things. If you're like me and you have a very visible skin condition, sometimes you'll find it stops you from having a good time when you go out with other people. I know it's done to me. I don't know about you guys, but honestly, I get so worried that people will notice that it begins to affect my behavior. One thing in particular is I find it hard getting close to people, whether it's males or females, physically, particularly guys. You know, when their arms are around me, when I'm hugging them, I get very insecure and very like sensitive about it, because in the back of my mind I'm worried, oh my goodness me, he's gonna smell the prescription. Like, it's not that my cream smells bad, it's just, it's thick and it smells like it came from my GP. I'm a dermatologist, which it did. Like, because it's made up of two creams. You've got like the lotion consistency and then you've got like the Vaseline petroleum consistency, and you have to mix them together in order for it to like have the best effect on my skin. And because it's so thick in the summer, it makes me sweat, and it's like I get so paranoid that people are noticing these things that I just don't want to be close. I don't want like to be hugged. Like, it's just but it really alters my behavior, and that's something you should not ever let your insecurity do. Your insecurity should never have control and dictate how you behave. You should be able to go out, have a good time without even thinking about it. It should not be sitting in the back of your mind, which it does for me. There was a time where I was using 50% of this and 50% of this to get my shade. It's just a bit mad. Like, I was so tired of buying foundations, and right now it's even worse because I can't test foundations, so I can't keep up with my skin tone changing. But my goodness, you should never have to constantly be worried and concerned when going out. To all my girls and my guys, just to all my subscribers out there that have an insecurity that they know they're constantly thinking about, take that energy and put it into something else that matters. Do you know the reason why I don't worry about my eczema being such an issue anymore? It's because I'm busy putting my energy into doing the things that I know people cannot cuss me out for. People cannot tell me that I don't bang when I take my pictures because I'm looking phenomenal, alright? When I put my energy into things that I know there's nothing anybody else can say that's going to make me stop doing it, that's when I'm not thinking about my eczema. There's nothing I can do about my eczema. There's nothing I can do about my skin. I mean, maybe one day I'll take one magic pill and it will all go away. Who knows? We don't know. But I'm not going to spend time and waste time worrying about it, because it will get me nowhere. If they did come up with a medication that would help, I don't like to think that I would get so excited that I'm going to be doing everything in my power to get my hands on it. I'd like to think that if it comes my way, I take it. If not, we move. Insecurities play such a big part in our lives when we give them such priority. Now, don't confuse what I've just said and think I'm saying, oh, distract yourself from your insecurities by being passionate and focusing on more important things. I think it's always good to be open and honest about insecurities. I think one thing we should not do is pretend we don't have them. as confident as I am, I have insecurities. And personally, I find when I watch people with big followings, with big influence, and when they're open and honest about their own journeys and their own insecurities, it helps me to look, it helps me to relate, and it helps me to realize that, oh, it doesn't matter how many followers, it doesn't matter how much money, it doesn't matter how much I think this person is amazing, they too are going through the same thing I'm going through. And that's what I want people to see when they're watching my video on my channel. A way of helping me cope and to manage my insecurities is to talk about them and to talk to you about what I plan to do about it. I mean, I can wallow and tell, oh, it's so sad, I've got patchy skin and da. But what am I going to do about it? I'm going to continue to look after my skin. I'm going to continue to treat my skin. I'm going to continue to tell myself that with or without eczema, you're still T, still Miss T, still the baddest bitch. Even though it's a part of who you are, it's your skin, it's your body, it's not, it doesn't diminish your value, it doesn't take anything away from you. And that's the kind of attitude you guys need to start taking with yourselves when it comes to things you're insecure about. The whole attitude I used to have, thinking that having eczema made me less than, is absolutely ridiculous. How I feel about myself shouldn't be dependent on what my skin looks like. I shouldn't feel good about myself when my skin is good and then feel bad about myself when it's bad. That's not how it works. You need to be satisfied and happy with yourself regardless of what it is you're going through. And you know what? I may have eczema for the rest of my life, and there would be a time where that will literally bring me to tears if someone said that to me. But thinking about it now, I might have eczema for the rest of my life. And what am I going to do about it? I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to continue to enjoy life knowing that I have it. I'm going to be aware that some people might not see me as beautiful, as paying, as sexy because of it. And that's a possibility. It's happened before. It might happen again. Be prepared. But just know that's not the type of person you want in your life anyway. You wouldn't want someone who's going to judge you based on something that you can't help. I'm just gonna brush out my hair. So what I want to say to my subscribers is that if you have a skin condition, if you have something that is very visible in photos and videos, if you find that you're constantly editing yourself to look a different type of way, just pause for a minute and just stop. Allow yourself to be free of that burden of constantly worrying about something that you can't change. And I'm not sitting here saying that I'm gonna be the spokesperson and try and be a model with eczema or anything like that, because at the end of the day, it's not something I want to flaunt, it's not something I want to draw attention to. I'm okay with just accepting it and living with it. I mean, we can't all be Winnie Arlo, I'm just saying. Like, and my point is, you don't have to put it on display for the world to see. Sometimes it's okay to just be accepting of it and just learning to live with it. So to all my subscribers out there that are going through something similar to me, you're not the only one. Your girl Miss T, she's been going through it for 19 years, and it's okay. And it's okay that it gets you down sometimes, it will, but just know that it will never ever take anything away from who you are as a person. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this series, and I hope to be back again with another series, really opening up and being transparent about myself. And yeah, don't forget to click that like button, click that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye guys.